Okay, hello everybody, good evening. Okay, let's get started. This is a Wednesday night. Hi. Okay, so bullet point. This is production for Tales of Valhalla, The Aftermath Chronicles. I'm Ryan, producer, director, and Tales of Valhalla and Aftermath Chronicles being a stop-motion HeroScape adventure. HeroScape being a discontinued board game. As you can see in front of you, here is the board game with miniatures photo right here for you to see. And we have 2 seasons on YouTube. Type in the search bar Tales of Valhalla on YouTube to find them there. And we are currently in production of season 3, just almost. We are very close, like in a matter of just a couple of weeks, being done with all the animations for season 3. Obviously we got done with season 2 a while ago, and we were doing seasons 2 and 3 back to back, so it's been since 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21. It's been almost 4.5 years since I started all this stop motion animation, and finally we are building the last terrain set that we have to build for animating. Woohoo! But we need to catch up on things. There's some things we haven't seen, and I have some video recordings and stuff that we can go through this week and next week while I'm wrapping up that last animation set, and then we'll go through that animation set as well. So lots of stuff to go through, lots of production details that we can get through. So, and for those of you on YouTube who are watching this, you know, it's just behind the scenes, wonderful behind the scenes stuff that you can find out, you know, some little tidbits of what's going to happen early in Tales of Valhalla. And I don't know if you want to be surprised, you can not watch this at all, but please feel free to watch, subscribe, share, show me some love. Anyway, so this photo here, like, we're going to get into photos and stuff in a little bit, but you can see this photo right here. This is part of an animation scene, a small one that I did. And for those of you who know about HeroScape or HeroScapers.com, and I've mentioned this before, there is a comic-like strip on HeroScapers.com called Chedwick and Sven, The Adventures of Chedwick and Sven. Look them up. It's a nice little comic. This person who made these comics like a long time ago, like it was over 10-15 years ago that he made these. Totally inspired me, and I love what he did, and I got permission from him to use his characters in Tales of Valhalla. So here we go. There is Sven, there's Chadwick, and there is Steve. Although we were not going to see Steve in season 3. I just have Steve. Steve just decided to show up for the for the cast photo shoot for this scene. He just wanted, hey, I just wanted to be part of it, you know, and yeah, he speaks in a very refined voice for a zombie. Anyway, so I have the shot, and so we're going to be looking at that in a second. But first, what we are going to look at, and let me find this. Hold on. We are going to look at, and we'll look at more of these photos in a little bit, but we're going to look at the build of this set. I recorded the build, and so we're going to listen, or we're going to watch a speed run of me doing that. You guys know the drill if you've seen some of these videos that I've done already. And I'm going to be talking through some of this just to tell you the details and aspects. This is all HeroScape. I'd say 99% of this is all HeroScape 3D printed, or HeroScape, all Hyground tiles 3D printed stuff. I get HeroScape and Hyground mixed up. But anyway, all Hyground 3D printed stuff. And so I guess I'll just be like, okay, let's just roll that video. It's about 10 minutes long, and then we'll be back and we will look at some dailies of some of these scenes that we've done, and even this cave one, and see how these dailies are. So take a look at this build, and I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. Later. Okay, hello, this is Ryan. So we're getting started with this build. And we are building using all 3D printed terrain and materials from Hyground Tiles. Especially for the base here. You notice that base, I'm building a cave, and I'm going to be using a lot of elements from Hyground's mine shaft mining set. But I start just the base with all the other foundational pieces, because I don't need the darker rock-like pieces until I know I'm going to be laying down the actual terrain tiles. So that's what I'm currently doing right now. Like I said, this is all high ground, and you see there's like beyond what I'm building, there's a huge heroscape terrain, grass terrain there. That's going to be a different set that we're going to be doing later in another video. But right now we're just focusing on this, and this cave is primarily for a certain Valkyrie general and his faction. I won't give it away. I'll let it be a surprise, but some of you could probably guess who I'm talking about. But anyway, this is a cave network, and one character is going to be showing up at the end of this. So there's going to be a small scene in here. I want this cave to look very magical, and in order to do that, I actually need to paint some high ground terrains. High ground terrain, usually, I mean, you don't have to really paint if you don't want to using their terrain, but I had to go over to my kitchen table or dining room table and paint some extra things, and here's some trees, painting some brown for the branches, because I painted them in green 3D printed filament, so I just using brown. Also paint, even though this door is not going to be used for Tales of Valhalla, it's like a Hobbit-like door, that I'm painting the door brown. But now I'm going to move on to the actual mine shaft terrain pieces that have like little crystals poking out of some of the terrains, and so I just don't want them to be the color of the filament. I want to give them some color, some vibrance, make them look very like crystal-like, using different colors like red, blue, and such. And so there was still some that I needed to paint, and so I need to do that before I continue building and putting them onto the mine shaft, or into this terrain set. And like I said, for those of you who are printing high ground tile stuff, you don't need to paint if you don't want to. I'm a very novice painter anyway. I'm learning, what I can, but it still looks okay. It'll work for the filmmaking. So that's what I'm doing. See, I'm painting some of these blue, painted some red. And yeah, so just enjoy the painting, and in a minute we'll get back to the actual building, going back to the animation studio and building the rest of this terrain set after everything's painted. Okay, so we're back in the animation studio. We got everything painted, all the paint's dry, and so now we can start building the whole infrastructure of our little magic cave that will be housing a Valkyrie general. And so with this cave, I need cave walls. So we need to build up walls surrounding everything, so we don't have any. So we can't see anything outside of this cave to make it give it a real claustrophobic type of look. And here I am sorting out different Hyground Terrain stuffs like the minecart tracks. There you can see there's little crystal, like huge crystal formations that I'm gonna put down into the terrain too, because I want to make this as a magical looking place as possible that looks like they've been touched by magnets. So I'm adding like not just like ground rock mine floor hex terrains, but I'm also adding like neon looking, color looking magic type mystic tiles it's called. And like I said, all these are from heroes, are from Hyground tiles, so you can download their STL files, purchase them if you need to, and print them out, and it just looks beautiful. And you can see here's how it looks. This terrain set is looking pretty darn good so far. And I know I said that like all these are Hyground 3D printed terrains, but there is one thing that is not a Hyground 3D print, and they are some portal rings that I'll end up putting in here in a second. And these portal rings come from a just a Heroscape enthusiast. I will, if you're watching this on YouTube, I will leave a link to his Thingiverse page to where you can see the rings right there, these portal rings. I'll leave a link to his Thingiverse page to where you can download his STL files and 3D print them if you would like. They are really wonderfully designed, and I had to like download them and use them for this set. It's a nice little magical looking cave here. It's all done, and what I'm going to do is, since it's all done, I'm going to show you guys like a close-up of this so you can look at it, and then we're going to just take a look at some of the shots I did before finishing this video. So thank you guys for watching, and like I said, there's still another terrain set to build, as you can see behind this cave set there, but we'll do that next time. So with that, enjoy, and talk to you later. Hey, wasn't that cool? And you get to see some of the animation shots at the end of the build for this cave scene. You can see here's close up, because you couldn't see, I think, very clearly in the video part, but these are like the mystic tiles, and I just 3D printed them in different filament colors just to make, you know, give it more mystic magic type aura, whatever. And then here's some of the crystals. And so yeah, I just wanted to make it not just look like a cave, but it is like a mineshaft cave, but this place has been touched by a lot of power and magic. And I don't want it to kind of like subtly reflect that, so that's that's what I have this for. So this is nice. Okay, and so what we're going to do is actually we're just going to backtrack here. We're going to take a look at some photos, and then we'll do some dailies. All right. So first off, this is the build of the Chadwick and Sven set, and I wanted to make it like here. I'm going to go. Here we're gonna. Okay, you see the shot here? I wanted to go back in time to where here, we're going to cover these in a second. Hold on. Hey. I wanted to go back in time and go to this is the first Chadwick and Sven, see the Adventures of Chadwick and Sven. This is the first comic that was released of them, and so I wanted to replicate this first shot, this first frame of this comic as much as I possibly could, and to give homage, you know, to the creator and to this comic strip as possible. So you see how that is there, and then let's just go back here. Hold on. I'm gonna go back to this shot. So there's that shot, and then here is. I'd say it's pretty darn close. I mean, this is when I was still building it, so you got to get these terrain tiles in the background out of the way. But when you do, you end up with a fairly good shot. And I had some 3D printed stuff. This is another Hyground tiles. This is like a dragon's nest where you got like broken dragon's eggs, and we'll see a close-up of that in a second. You got like little bones, and so this was printed in a graphite gray filament, and then I painted everything else. And this is a 3D printed portal, and I was talking about the portals in the video, like the small ones that I have in the cave. This is another bigger portal designed by the same person who loves HeroScape, and like I said, if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a Thingiverse link that will be in the description below to download and print these. And this was this was mostly painted. And there's part of a script there. And so here's how we're just a little close up of me animating. And I'm basically trying to recreate the scene of how Chadwick and Sven meet, you know, using my own creative liberties and imagination on, you know, how that would take place. Let's see, and then here is some of the end results of the painting that I was doing in the video. It looks like it's paint, doesn't it? I mean, it's pretty awful, but you know, it'll work. There's some green paint, and then I need to rotate this because this is like backwards. Okay, there you go. Let's see. A little blurry, but you get it. Yeah. So, like I said, besides these portal rings here, all of this whole set is Hyground tiles, 3D printed stuff. This is coming from Hyground tiles 3D printed STL files. So, like I said, go to Hyground tiles, and their website is in a link in the description as always, and in every video that I release now. There's a link for their website below. Go support them, give some love, make some of their terrains, because their terrains are just amazing. And then here's a close-up of the Hyground tiles dragon's nest. So I tried to make a wooden nest. There's like a little white skull there, and here's the eggs. And I made the eggs like a little dark, you know, the inside being green, the outside being like a darker type green, just because that's how I felt that I wanted. And then I have, you know, these skulls and bones all over the place. So it's a nice little 3D print. The only thing that's not painted is, you know, the gray part. That's the main 3D printing filament that I was using. Then here's an animation frame. inside the cave. There's Carver. Nice little close-up of him. And again, there is Chadwick, Sven, and Steve. There's a close-up of them. And when we get to future seasons of Tales of Valhalla, we'll see a lot more of these guys. For sure. Okay, so with that, that's it for photos. Let us go to some daily videos. And we have about, well, we got a few minutes to do this, so let's go to this and look at this Chadwick and Sven scene. Looking pretty good. So we're focusing first on the dragon's nest, and then we see movement, so we focus in on that, and then movement there. And this is just a lot of talking. There's not much action going on here. And so here we got Chadwick just walking there, and you see the portal ring in the background. So looking good. Not much movement. At least not much camera movement, camera shake. All these shots came out pretty darn good. And see, not a bad recreation of that scene. Of course, it's going to be a little bit different with my lighting and such. There's more of a close-up, and then an even bigger close-up. Looking good. Looking good. And then we'll get to those shots next week. But one thing I want to do, I'm gonna give you guys a little look at another cave set, and this is a little dark, probably too dark for my taste, but it's okay. And just see there's Everscar going in there, and here's some more 3D printed Hyground tile stuff. There's crystal there. This is like a little bookshelf inside the cave. This is like a little wooden wheel. Then another portal ring. And here, I like this shot. I end up seeing like Ever's right there. And then a good look at the portal ring. No camera shake. There's a little tad bit of light flicker right there, but it's nothing to shake a stick at. And so yeah, that's pretty much it, and that's all we really have time for. So here, hold on a second. Let me go back to, I'll just go here. There. Just go to this. Alright. Just go inside the cave. There's a shot inside the cave, and end it there. So, like I said, half hour. Time flies when you're having fun. And this is a half hour, about a half hour of a live stream, only because I have to pre-record this because my internet is always now stinky, and so I have to pre-record this and upload it. Hopefully soon we'll be able to live stream for like more than a half hour when I get a new internet system. Starlink, please come to me soon. And so with that, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll say what I always say for those of you who are watching this on the Tales of Valhalla YouTube page. This edited down version it's about like 30 minutes, and also a production video that is already on Tales of Valhalla page, which you'll find a link in the description below. But if you want to see the full amount of this live stream, go to our Connector Productions YouTube page, which you'll see in the screen in front of you, or in a link in the description below. And I'm Ryan. I thank you guys for watching the live stream tonight, and we have more fun stuff to show next week as well. So until then, have a good night. We'll see you next week. Later.